Hello and welcome back to a tutorial with me, Jade at So Jealous. This is your very first crochet video, and this talks about the basic materials that you will come across and how you can use them, how to choose the materials that you want to work with. So we have yarn and we have tools and materials. So let's break this down. Let's go into a little bit more detail with regards to specific tools and also with regards to specific materials. So first up, looking at the tools, crochet hooks are generally made out of these three materials. We have natural fibres. This one is a bamboo crochet hook, but they're made out of all different types of wood. These are more expensive, but obviously a bit kinder to the environment, but they aren't my personal favourite. I do think as a beginner, this is an expense that you can avoid, but they do feel nice when you work with them. And then we have the metal crochet hooks, and you'll probably find in your grandma's stash some of these that she's had for 50-60 years. They're very durable, they will last a lifetime, but they aren't as comfortable to work with. They can be quite hard on the fingers, so really good for beginners. You literally can't destroy them, but not as comfortable. Now in recent times, what's tended to happen is once you get beyond the crochet hook 5.5 millimeters, the hooks then move to plastic. Now these aren't my favourite. It's obviously plastic. We know it's not good for the environment, but they are very inexpensive. And again, if you're a beginner, this is a very affordable tool. And then dependent on the type of crochet that you're doing, I always recommend having some stitch markers handy. You may not use them all the time, but you can guarantee when you need them, you can't find them. So it's useful to have a few. You get different types. You can get handmade ones that are lovely and dangly, but for basic projects, these lobster clasp plastic stitch markers, they work just absolutely fine. We have these in our shop, but as I say, you can get all different types of ones. Now, moving on to yarn. There's so much to say about yarn, so this is going to be sort of a whistle-stop tour. The first thing to note with yarn is that yarn comes in different weights. Generally speaking, the most common weights in the UK are 4-ply, DK, full name double knitting, Aran, chunky and super chunky. There are exceptions to that. You can get 3-ply and 2-ply, and you can get jumbo and arm knitting yarn, but those are the most common. And on your ball of yarn, occasionally you will also see a numbering system, so 1 to 6, and that number will equate to the weight of the yarn. It's not so common with UK brands, but any imports that come from America, you will certainly see this numbering system. Now, on the ball of yarn, there is other essential information that pertains to washing instructions, how much yarn you're going to receive, and how to work with it in terms of the tools that you require. So the first thing here is that your ball band yarn will have a colour name or number, and it will also have a dye lot number. Now, dye lot numbers are really important. Each colour is made to its own specific recipe. And even though it's a very accurate and precise measurement, unfortunately, through the process, there can sometimes be slight variations. If you need your work to involve colour that matches 100% completely, you need to be buying yarn that has the same dye lot number. And I always recommend, especially if you're a beginner, to buy one more ball than you need. Now, also on the ball band is other essential information. So this says the fibre content. This particular ball band is 100% superior acrylic. So that's important information, especially if you have skin intolerances. And it also runs through the washing instructions. It will tell you what size needles you can use, and it will also tell you the recommended tension square, as well as, like I said, the drying instructions, the meterage, the yardage. So this one will tell you to work with 6 to 6.5, and it will also have a little grid there. Now that grid is your tension square, and that is basically telling you that when working in stocking stitch, in order to create a 10 by 10 square, it should be this amount of stitches wide and this many rows high. So you can see with this particular brand that they only refer to the knitting instructions, which is unfortunate, not uncommon. So let's have a look at a different brand, and let's have a look at their ball band. So this is Starcraft, and you can see that Starcraft also have an image of a crochet hook. And this will tell us the recommended crochet hook to use with that particular yarn. Now, that's just the manufacturer's recommendation. What I will say to you is, if you are working to a specific pattern, make sure you follow the instructions that the pattern gives you. And again, here we've got washing instructions here. We've got the material that the yarn is made from, and we've also got meterage and yardage. So if you have a pattern that refers to how many meters or yards you need, that information will be important to you. So this ball band also tells us that it's 100 grams. So patterns will either have grammage or they'll have yardage or meterage. So that's important to note. And as I said, there are different weight categories. The Highland Heathers is Aran, the Signet is Chunky. It's not always obvious when you're looking at yarn that there is much of a difference, but there is. So a little bit more about yarn. There's lots of different fibre content. So both of these brands were acrylic. Some will have a acrylic and viscose blend. Then you have your natural fibres. It's unusual and expensive to have yarn that's 100% natural fibre or wool. You'll usually find them to be a blend. That works well because you get all of the benefits of the wool mixed with all of the washability and durability of the synthetic yarn. There's also 100% cotton types. Those usually come in a mercerised version and non-mercerised. So that's some information about some basic tools that you will probably need when it comes to crochet. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, but for now, thank you very much and have a great day.